Okay, so here we have probably the toughest level, and the one that you will want to use Scuba Mask for, unless if you're insane enough to go for a really precise double vault. So without further ado, let's start it. Of note is that there's cats here you might want to be careful of. Okay, so I got this. Okay, so now you have this. Of course, once you set the bomb here, you got like 5 seconds to get out before you insta die. So want to make sure you're all set up for this. I got that. Okay. Now we just proceed as normal. So we got this as always. You need to go down here basically. And without double vaults, you can't get up there, so you have to do this. And you get warped up there. Vault here. And here you gotta make sure you get enough speed to get across that. Just basically do cool aiming stuff here. Of note is you also want to make sure you know which hat you have on this level. For me, I have it so my Scuba Mask is next to the to my sprint hat. I'm not sure how that happened, but I guess that's how it is. And for this, you got these cannons here. Your sprint jump gets you over there, possibly losing a little bit of speed. And then, if I recall correctly, now you need to go over here. As always, you go down here. Now we're getting to like the hardest part of the level by far. Once you do this, then you gotta do the countdown. Okay, so without the pressure of return, let me show you how to do this. Of course, I have Scuba Mask on. Make sure you gotta have your sprint hat on. Okay. Now I have Scuba Mask on, and so let me think. Like this jump, you need Scuba Mask for, unless if you want to do an insane double vault. So without further ado, let's do this. Okay, so you go up here, dive, and then use your sprint, your Scuba Mask. By dive, I meant spin. Then you do this. Careful of these. And then here you have recommended you vault over to get this hook point right here. Then go over to this part right here. You might be able to, if you want to use air attack plus, I bet you could just like use air attack plus to get over there from that hook point. I'm not sure, but here's how I do this. So being sure you have sprint hat on. You want to make sure that hold shift, like, and make sure you have enough speed. Then just basically jump at the right time and dive / spin. Okay, so now there's like an enemy up there. You see that enemy up there? You want to make sure that get up here. Also make sure that you have brewing tent brewer to destroy every one of these bitches. So now get rid of that. Get your sprint hat back on. Okay, so I cut here to an actual run. see what I do. Okay, so I sprint jump here. I sprint jump to get over those mountains of eggs.
1 minute and 20 seconds until self-destruct.
And now I can just go back here. In old versions, you couldn't do that. Basically, start off a part by like spinning. Just do that section normally. As you can see, you don't really get a lot of speed by going down that ramp. And then here, use 920s if needed, basically jump and spin, jump and spin, jump and spin. You'll give yourself more speed. So that's that. That's basically it. So now we're on to core. This level's more of a consistency level. If you die, you go all the way back here, and there's no health pawns anywhere. So it's better to have a safe strat for this one. So without further ado, let's do it. You could use a normal jump to get you enough height to get up here. You don't have to worry as much about that one. So let me show you the safe strat for this route, for this room. So I'll go up here. Now note is that you could get a vault to use a vault to get over to that pawn, but I don't recommend because it's pretty tough and precise. You use this hook point right here. We'll let you get this one. Use the hook point again, and give you enough height to just go right over to here. Okay, and so I recommend getting this pawn because by the time you get to the last section, you will want one extra pawn. I don't recommend vaulting off of this, but instead I recommend vaulting off of this right here. Let's see if I could like not screw it up. There we go. Sprint jump, get up there. That's the first room done. Let's show you room 2. Okay. So in this one, I'll show you how to get every single pawn here. Like, of course, if you get the extra pawn in that other room, you won't need to get an extra pawn here. Just save you a little bit of time. So line yourself up, jump down here. Then you don't need a lot of speed. You just basically go up there. You could just literally stand on top of this because Amy could do way too much things, too many things. Look at that. Isn't that ridiculous? Okay, so we got that. Go back up, basically. Okay, so now you wanna go up to that platform right there in order to access the other two. Without further ado, let's do that. Line yourself up, sprint jump, and you should be able to do that. And to go over this one, the safest way to do this is to go into this massive crystals right here and drop it. And you'll have to go all the way back down here and line it up again. Okay, so for this one, you can go try getting on that edge right here, but honestly, I recommend going right for those blue crystals. I think what I did before was just got enough speed and just did a normal jump dive. Yeah, that gives you enough. Sprint jump, get up here, and then you could just use this hook shot to go get to the place that you need to be. Okay, and so here, get on top of that pipe. Probably get there with a jump or a sprint jump. Vault here. Now we're on to the last part. So the reason you need an extra pawn here is because these two are, this one's right here would require damage if you don't have a double vault, and even though that would be really precise, but that one's just off limits without a double vault. And so you want to get like all the rest of these. Without further ado, let's do it. First one here, you sprint jump, spin. Not that spin. You sprint jump and spin to get into that one. And then, let's see what we got here. You can get over to that platform right there with a well-placed vault. Sprint jump. And vault. That'll get you there. You might be able to just sprint jump this, yeah. You could to get over here. You don't have to do that. You could, if you go back to the center, you could do cycles to get over there, but I don't recommend that. I screwed up. Shit. Okay. So I guess I'll show you cycles then. Okay, so you just get over there with a good vault. Okay, so now we're over here. This one's a pretty tricky jump. Basically, you just want to do a good vault here, and then spin to get on top of there. Then that's a win. That's a win. Okay, so now I'll show you how to do this level. This level's just weird. I'd recommend sprint jumping this, and then to get over here you need to do a vault. And then here, don't go on top of the crow platform, just do this. And you could get over, you could kind of thread the needle between those idiots right there. Then do that, and then basically as normal you would just go fall right down. And of course I landed on that platform right there. Then you're recommended to do this, but I could show you like a different way later. Okay, and so here you just basically kind of do things like normal kind of, but just note because Amy it doesn't have like the throwing physics working yet, you'd have to do it kind of like this. Notice like when I throw right here, it goes right here. We gotta go closer, and then it gets closer and closer. Keep on messing with it until you get it. Basically, you want to make sure it goes in the exact middle, or else as close to the middle as possible. If you do it too far, you'll just go too far, basically. So just kind of want to make micro adjustments there. And so we do this again here. And then that opens that up. And then so here's how you do this. So get speed. Then you just basically hope you land on that block there. Then here you just basically do a vault near the edge of that. And then you do another vault here. And then roll over. Or, I can show you the other way. So, you can line yourself up and spin here so that you always, like, hit that part pretty easily. So, from here, you'll be dropping right down. And then hopefully, they could actually move during that. I'll show you what I mean. So I can do that. First try, let's go. You can do it like that, but it is really risky because, if you fail it, you basically need to, like, you're either going to hit the top block there, which will bring you over to like the other part, then you just do it like that. Or if you just like fall down, you have to like basically kill yourself and restart the level. But that's that.